Today, we're making chicken adobo, one of my favorite dishes in the whole world. Outside of Vietnamese food, I've always found myself gravitating towards Filipino cuisine, and part of that comes from my own personal upbringing. Prior to immigrating to the States, my family spent some time at a refugee camp in Manila, and it was there that my parents began telling me stories of how food could build connections and bring people together. Drawing on these influences and the Filipino community in Seattle that has supported and inspired me, this recipe is an homage to everything that is Filipino culture. So do me a favor and make sure you like, comment, share, and save this video. Alright y'all, remember to wash your hands. The first step in making authentic chicken adobo is making the marinade. And there's a strong likelihood that you already have all these ingredients in your pantry. And we'll start with a quarter cup of soy sauce. To that, we'll add 2 tablespoons of dark soy sauce for the color. And if you're using a Filipino soy sauce like Silver Swan, you can skip the dark soy sauce altogether. Then to the marinade, we'll add in about half a cup of white vinegar, and you already know that I'm using the Datu Puti to keep it authentic. Then we'll add in 2 tablespoons of brown sugar to round out the flavor. And then I have a handful of garlic cloves, and about half a tablespoon of whole black peppercorns. We'll give that a good mix, making sure that all the brown sugar is fully dissolved. And then to the marinade, we'll add in about 2 pounds of chicken wings. And you can really use whatever cut of chicken you want, but I really like the size, flavor, and convenience of chicken wings. Now, we're gonna make sure that the wings are evenly coated, and this is going in the fridge to vibe out for a minimum of half an hour. But if you have the time, overnight will produce the best results to allow the marinade to really penetrate into the chicken wings. And if you like this recipe and you want to learn how to make more of your favorite Filipino and Asian dishes, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications to stay up to date on all my latest posts. Now, while the chicken is vibing out, I'm going to make a little vegetable side dish to pair along with the chicken adobo, which is just Kamatis Ensalada or tomato salad, which is basically a Filipino salsa. So first I have a red tomato and I'll just cut that into quarters, get rid of the stem end, and then we'll dice that up. Next up, I have a yellow onion, and we'll just need about a quarter of this, and we'll also give that a dice. We'll get both our tomato and onions into a little container or mixing bowl. And then I'm gonna add in a squeeze of lime. If you do have access to calamansi though, that would be more authentic here. Then to our ensalada, I'm just gonna add in a couple dashes of Maggi seasoning. We'll give that a good mix, and that's pretty much it. Now, before we start cooking, I'm also gonna finally chop up some green onions to use as a garnish later. With all that done, it's time to cook. Now, after our chicken has been marinating, I'm gonna pull out the chicken wings and reserve the marinade for later, but using a paper towel, we'll pat the chicken wings dry. Then to a big saute pan or a pot on medium-high heat, we'll add in a splash of oil, and we'll sear the chicken wings on both sides to start the browning process. After a few minutes, we'll pour in all of our marinade to the pot, add in just enough water to cover maybe 75% of the chicken wings. We'll bring that up to a boil, skim off any impurities, and then we'll drop in a couple of bay leaves. Reduce the heat to low, cover the pot with a slight crack, and we'll let our chicken adobo simmer for 30 to 45 minutes or until the chicken is tender. Then we'll finish our adobo with some fresh ground black pepper. And then we'll make any other final adjustments to the seasonings. Now, if you're planning ahead and want the best chicken adobo you've ever had, after you're done cooking this, let it cool down slightly and store it in the fridge and serve it the next day. Adobo and most braised dishes will always taste better after it's had a chance to sit and for the flavors to really meld together. So if you have the time, plan to make this dish the day before you want to serve it. Other than that, it's time to plate. We're serving this over some white rice today. and we'll just get some of our wings right on top. I'll spoon over some of the sauce, making sure to not pick up any of the whole peppercorns. And then we'll add in a little side of our Kamatis ensalada. We'll garnish that simply with some green onions. And just like that, you've made authentic Filipino chicken adobo at home. As always, the recipe and measurements are on my blog at feedthepudge.com. And if you've made it this far, let me know in the comments section, what's your favorite Filipino dish? Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.